You play Shirley Chisholm, just this great historic character, and you get an Emmy for that as well.
Wild.
And it's just, and like I say, it's when it starts to rain, it really pours, you know? But it's a great feeling that, I mean, to me, because so much of this book is about your mom and getting strength from your mom and perspective from your mom and reading your mom's journals and going back and reading after she passed her journals. And there's a part where you're reading her journal and she's writing in her journal. You didn't know this at the time, but man, I'm really worried about Uzo. I don't know that she's going to make it. Yeah. And she would, leave food, put food in your refrigerator.
Yeah. Like after I'd moved, I'm reading these true story, like reading these journals, and it's like she's in there just like constantly, like this path that I've chosen. She's like praying. The thing I think she's prayed every night. Like she's like, I pray every night. And ending her journal, she's like, that Uzo, I'm worried about Uzo. She never calls me unless she needs money. She called today and I gave her what I had, and it's like she's stressed out. She would come up the first time she came when I moved to New York. And I didn't have anything. I was waiting tables. I didn't have anything in my fridge. And she was like, "What? Where is your food?" And I was like, I just eat at work. It's fine. Like they give a pre-meal. I don't know if any of you guys waited tables, like pre-meal. They give you pre-meal there. I was like, they give me pre-meal there. And so I eat that. And, in the morning, I just have like a little oatmeal or like a couple of hard-boiled eggs. It's fine. And right before she's leaving, she took me to the Stop and Shop. So I was in Queens. She took me to the Stop and Shop over there in Sunnyside, a store on the Astoria line, which is a big grocery store. And she was like, get whatever you want. And I was like, no, I'm fine. And she's like, whatever you want. And she like would come and either bring food from home or like help me stock up my fridge. Cause she was like, I can't do much, but I can do this, and would just like, contribute in that way. And I'm forever grateful. My mom was an amazing lady. I just need to go on record as having said that she was not a good mother. She was an excellent mother.
Well, I mean, that's such a big part of this book, which is so nice, is talking about that. You said your mom was not a tall woman. No. She's like 5 feet tall.
Yeah.
But she seemed really tall to you.
Huge. She was a giant to me my whole life. In my child memory, and probably because I'm like 2 feet, but I'm like looking up at her, you know what I mean? Like, and I don't think it was until well adulthood that I realized it was like, you're like, not only are you not tall, you're actually short. Like, you're small. But she
was wearing incredibly like high platform. She got these Elton John shoes.
That's right.
At the Elton John estate sale.
That's right. That's right. She wore them to intimidate. Took them off when we were older. She was that. And like, but she was like spunky and like had such a big personality. And like, I was trying to be, I'm the big personality too in my house, and like, would talk and be like, no, we need to do it this way. And my mom's like number one comment to me all the time was, Uzo, there's only one captain on this ship. And you're looking at her. That's like her go-to line.
What's interesting is you talk about so much, people always think they need to change or mold themselves to make it, when sometimes, for example, you like the way that you said, you were interested in changing your name when you were younger. You were interested, or you had people tell you early on in acting, you've got this gap in your teeth. You should probably do something about that. And there are a lot of people who go through these cosmetic changes to try and fit into something that someone else thinks they should fit into.
Yeah.
But now that whole idea just seems crazy.
It does. And I can't imagine if I had done that. Frankly, for me, there were so many pictures of me when I look at myself as a small kid. I just did not smile because I was so conscious of my gap. I'd do this like, closed mouth smile. My mom would always be like, smile, smile, smile. And then my senior year, I had a photographer for my senior yearbook portrait. You get your senior pictures. It's like the fancy one.
Yep.
Right. So we had like the outside guy come and like do the like yearbook picture. And, you know, like every time we'd be talking, I'd be smiling. And then as soon as he picked up the camera to shoot, I'd close my mouth and not smile. And he's like, why do you keep doing that? You know, what's that about? And I was like, I don't like my smile. And he was like, really? I think you have a beautiful smile.
Oh,
and
nice.
I didn't smile in that picture, but I did immediately the rest of that school year start smiling. And even now, when I walk on carpets and I'm supposed to give, you know, like face or whatever, I find myself wanting to smile. And it's because I want to like make up for these lost smiles, you know? And I feel like it's such an identifier for who I am. And, you know, like if I changed that, you know, like that's so much of my ancestry in this space between my teeth. It's who I am. It's the smile my aunt has. It's the smile my great aunt had, you know, it's a smile so many of my cousins have. We call it my mother's maiden name, Anyoku Gap, you know, and I would have taken a piece of myself away, you know, and now I just wear it proudly. And when asked to take it out in the beginning of my career, I had a choice. And there was an early part of my life when I wanted to really fit in and thought taking away the parts of me that made me unique would make me better. And at this stage of my life, when I was approached with this idea of closing my gap, I really understood that the parts of myself that made me unique are actually what make me better.
Yeah.
And it's just...
It takes a little bit of living to figure that out.
For sure.
Especially when you're... I had this experience where Mike Wallace, the great, you know, like journalist and host of 60, kind of one of the lead hosts of 60 Minutes, he was on our show once, and this has been much commented on. I'm not just white, I'm translucent. I go beyond white. I'm a whole other thing. And a side effect of one of that is that I have this vein underneath my eye that you can kind of see. And I remembered I was doing talking to the great Mike Wallace, and we're having this interview, and then I say, okay, well, you know, we'll take a break. We have more with Mike Wallace right after this. Bam, and Mike Wallace just takes his finger and he reaches over and he puts it on the vein underneath my eye, and he said, "What are you going to do about that?" Now, and the thing is, he wasn't being mean.
Yes, he was.
Well, no. I have a lot of respect for Mike Wallace, and he was very nice to me. What he was kind of doing was just saying, like, as a guy who'd been in broadcasting since the 1940s or 50s, he was kind of just saying, you know, oh yeah, that's something you're gonna, you know, because I was early in my career. He was probably saying like, oh yeah, so what do we do about that? Is there a kind of makeup you can put on or something? Or can you get rid of it? And I thought, well, it is, I think it's supplying blood to my brain. So I could just see going to a surgeon and having it removed. And I'm just like, welcome to the whole section of the speaking part of my occipital lobe is gone. But man, his eyes look good.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, I just remember thinking, there are all these things about me. I was, you know, I had a weird name growing up and looked a little different and wasn't sure where I fit in. I'm like an Irish Catholic kid, but I don't really like sports. And I like to read, and I have a weird brain. And I remember just thinking like, I don't know where I fit into the whole thing. But then later on, those things become, oh, thank God. I mean, I'd still like to fix the vein, but...
What are you going to do about that?
I'm having it removed tomorrow. But I know it's interesting that there are many different forms that can take for lots of different people who are listening, that if you can write it out, those things... And I think, unfortunately, you know, social media and also the rise of all these different cosmetic surgeries or injections people can get has... I see so many people that have clearly like injected their lips, injected their faces, done things, and they just look like everybody else now. And I think, well, that's too bad.
I love character.
Yeah.
I really do. Like, I love those little touches, whether it's in the face, in the hair, in the mouth, whatever, that just make makes you stand in a different way. And I actually think those things make you more interesting to look at in a beautiful way, you know, personally. That's my thoughts on it. But
well, I disagree.
well,
I think you're out of your mind.